on Small Talk as I speak with Shri Sanjeev Bikhchandani, founder of InfoEdge. Sir, thank you so much for taking the time out and agreeing to speak to me.
Thank you for calling me, Amit. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Today, I want to talk to you about your journey as an entrepreneur, your investment philosophy, and journey as an investor. And then it will be great to get from you some pointers in terms of key trends that you see in the technology world. Before I start, I wanted to remind the audience that we will have a Q&A at the end of the session. You could either type your question in the questions section, or you could click on the raise hand icon that you see on the right side of the screen. Fantastic. So, sir, I want to go back in time to the late 90s when you were probably still working on multiple ideas. I wanted to understand what were the early indicators which told you that you are onto something big with Naukri, and what are the signs that a startup founder should look for to know that they are onto something, that this idea will work, and they should sort of focus their energy and mind on the idea that they are on.
Look, the customer and the market gives you the signal. Now, I quit my job in 1990 and we launched Naukri in 97. So for 7 years, I drifted and did a whole lot of small stuff, maybe 5, 10, 15 different ideas. So when I quit my job, I had no big idea. I had no great vision, nothing. It was just that, I didn't want to be an employee in a large multinational corporation. It was not the life I was looking for. So I quit and we began small. We began in the 7th quarter above the garage in my father's house. We were paying 800 rupees rent to him, which I insisted on paying. We had no employees. Then we got one employee, a peon, at 900 rupees a month. Okay, and our first product was a salary survey. Right? It was a salary survey of what companies were paying fresh MBAs at the IIM campuses.
Okay.
And I got this idea from my own observing the behavior of companies and students during my own placement season.
Right.
And I'm in 1989.
Right.
And I understood that companies really compete for talent on the IIM campuses. That gave me an insight that अगर किसी ने ये salary survey launch किया तो बिक जाएगा. Customer will want it. The companies will want to buy it.
Right.
And that is what our first product was. So we launched a product which we knew would have demand.
Got that.
So the key is to launch stuff that you will have demand because such a product does not exist and customers want it and you're filling up a gap.
Right.
So you start from the customer.
Got that.
You start from the customer and say, what is the customer's behavior? What are the unsolved problems? What is the need gap? And you do something that fills the need gap. So it may start off as a tiny niche, and that's fine.
Right.
Our second product in 91. So this salary survey thing continued for 8 years. Every year we do it. Every year it would sell. Every year it would sell.
Wow.
And we knew it would sell because I had observed the customer. And एक बार ही बिक गया, then अगले साल तो बिकेगा ही.
Okay.
Right? Our second product was a very niche product called a trademark search service.
Okay.
So basically, my former business partner, Kapil Verma, he and I had started the company together in 1990 and 89-90. Right? He had done an internship in an intellectual property law firm that belonged to his uncle.
Okay.
And their clients would want their trademarks registered with the trademark registry in order to protect them.
Right.
Now, the problem was that the trademark registry would take 5 years to say yes or no to an application.
Wow.
Right? And companies, when they wanted to launch new brands, would not want to wait 5 years for approval.
Yeah.
They want to do it in 1 or 2 years. Now, let's say, assuming you launch a new brand, but after 3 years of launch, the trademark registry says, sorry, your application is rejected. After you spent all the money on advertising, you built the brand, but now you can't use that name. That was a huge risk.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons for rejection of a trademark application was if somebody else has applied for or registered a similar trademark as identical or similar trademark in that product category with the trademark registry. First come, first served. In 1990, there were 6 lakh registered and pending trademarks in India. Up
Wow.
to बहुत ज़्यादा है. That is 6 lakhs across 32 product categories, 32 classes. In that, class 5 was the largest with 80,000 trademarks. Class 5 was pharmaceuticals.
Right.
So, couple had been to the trademark registry office. So, what companies would do is they'd hire lawyers to go and search the trademark record, the trademark registry office in Bombay and Fort, and assess the chances of likelihood of being approved by seeing if some other identical or similar trademark had been applied for
Right.
before that. So, Kapil went to do a few searches of this sort for clients of his uncle to Bombay, and he came back saying, the system is broken. And I said, why? He said that the record is not maintained on computer, it's maintained manually. It is maintained in not in alphabetical order in a register. It is maintained in reverse chronological order of date of application
Right.
in files with 2 pages to an application.
Wow.
So, अगर आपको फार्मा का रिकॉर्ड सर्च करना है, तो आपको you have to do this 1,60,000 times.
Right.
And he said the lawyers should do this. You see, a bada lawyer hota hai, he will contact an associate in Bombay who will subcontract. Ultimately, the guy who will go to do it is paid 150 rupees for a search
Wow.
in 1990. But वो 1,60,000 बारी करेगा, 1,60,000 बारी करेगा to 150 rupees. And he said, I went into the search and I said, I saw it. I was totally aghast. This is completely unreliable. The system is broken at the last mile.
Right.
But companies don't know it.
Right.
Now the lawyer is charging the company 2,000 rupees in 1990. The
Right.
guy at the bottom is being paid 150 rupees. These में और लोग खा रहे हैं.
Correct.
Second, the guy at the bottom will not do it for 150 rupees. You will wait for 10 or 15 trademarks to accumulate. So he'll
Yeah.
do it once for 1,500 rupees.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Which means he'll wait 3 weeks, 1 month
Yeah.
until the number of searches accumulate.
Absolutely.
And then it is unreliable because manual.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So he came back and he said, listen, if we just transcribe this database, just for pharmaceuticals,
Right.
and dump it on a computer and offer computerized searches,
Right.
it'll be cheaper, faster, better.
Right.
Which is what we did. He went to Bombay. He stayed at a friend's place. We didn't want to spend money. He went by train, by the Rajdhani Express. And this is 1990, right? And we didn't want to spend money. So he hired 10 students from Elphinstone College, paid them 75 rupees a day each, and which was big money in those days, right? And made them cut class, gave them registers, and so the way that the record is organized, it was 1 file per category per month.
Right.
So he got 1 register per file, and he came back with 2 suitcases of registers. Say, मैंने ये record transcribe कर दिया है.
Correct.
5 or 6 relevant data, the fields.
Yeah.
And we dumped on a computer and began to sell searches. Now, this product also worked because Kapil had understood. For the life of me, I could never have thought of this product.
Right.
But he had seen it, he had experienced it. I had seen placements in IIM Ahmedabad.
Correct.
In
Correct.
both cases, we knew कि ये product या service बिकेगी. Customer will want it, it's solving an unsolved problem.
Correct.
We went with a cheaper price. We went in from on a faster, with a faster turnaround time.
Right.
Went to more reliable service.
Right.
With computerized search. So it was cheaper, faster, better.
Super.
So it had to sell, and it sold.
Right.
So नौकरी का भी insight मुझे आया था 1990 में.
Right.
I was my last job in a company called HMM, which is now called GlaxoSmithKline, and I was working in marketing on the brand Horlicks. which GlaxoSmithKline just sold to Unilever.
Yes.
Right? Uh, and we used to be 10, 12 people in an open hall, the marketing team.
Right.
All of them, the IIMs or FMS or some of the premium business schools.
Yes.
Bajaj, right?
Yeah.
And all of us would, sit and we could see each other, hear each other, open halls are. So
Right.
I used to observe that when the office copy of Business India would come in, it would go from desk to desk, and each one of my colleagues would pick up the magazine and read it from the back. Because there used to be 35 to 40 pages of appointment ads in the back of Business India in those days. It was the number one appointment ad medium for professional managers in India.
Okay.
And I used to find this very strange that, I thought people should read articles in the magazine first. But people are basically looking at the appointment ads. And these are people who are in a good company, happy in their jobs, but they're just benchmarking.
Yeah.
Just keeping environments and market में क्या चल रहा है.
Correct.
So I realized after seeing this repeatedly, every time, fortnight after fortnight, all my colleagues, right, that look, jobs are a high interest category of information.
Right.
So if somebody were to, this is 1990, right? There's no internet, there is no even LAN. The PCs are shared. There's no PC on our desk. There was one PC in the whole marketing department. Okay. You got to book time and share it, right?
Wow.
It's expensive. One PC, XT, 640 KB RAM, 20 MB hard disk, 5.25 floppy drive cost 1.5 lakh rupees.
Wow.
In those days, just to put it in perspective, the average salary for my class in IIM Ahmedabad was 38,000 rupees per annum.
Wow.
44,000 rupees per annum. 44,000 rupees per annum.
Wow.
3,800 रुपए महीना. And we were privileged. We went to IIM.
Right.
So those were top of the rank salaries.
Correct.
So it cost roughly about 4 years of salary
4 years of salary, absolutely.
of an IMA graduate to buy one computer.
Right.
4 years of salary pre-tax.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? उस समय टैक्स 50% होता था. Marginal rate.
Yeah.
Right? So computers were out of reach, and I had this insight. I didn't know what to do with it. So I quit my job, did the salary survey thing, did the trademark database thing. Life went on. This insight stayed with me.
Yeah.
In '93, my partner and I went separate ways. He kept the trademarks idea. That was his idea. I kept the salary survey idea. That was my idea. The company was still called Info at that time. There was new salary survey.
Okay.
And in '97, we launched Naukri as one more small idea. I'd done 20 small things by then. Right? And I saw the internet for the first time in October '96. It had just come into India.
Wow.
I had gone to IT Expo, which was a big IT exhibition in Conclave, organized by CII in Delhi every year, in
Right.
Prakati Mela. Right? And आजकल नहीं होता है, but उस ज़माने में होता था.
Right.
Right? So in the IT Expo, there would be 3 big pavilions of 3 large of big companies.
Right.
Like Microsoft हो गया, Hewlett Packard हो गया, Compaq हो गया, Digital हो गया, various large companies. Now, I would not find those pavilions very interesting because usually those products were priced out of reach for me. We were running a very small company.
Right.
We would buy unbranded PCs, assembled PCs, we would do all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? But there used to be one more pavilion, which was jam-packed with tiny stalls
Okay.
of very small companies.
Okay.
They were usually small software makers, small software product makers, service providers, CD-ROM, education CD-ROM makers, all that.
Yeah.
I used to find that pavilion very fascinating because if there were 300 stalls there were 300 ideas there.
Yeah.
And I would go there and get ideas.
Right.
So I used to go there every year. And मैं 2-3 साल में जा रहा था मैं 2-3 साल से. So October '96 when I went, I saw a stall which said WWW, and I was intrigued. And I said, "Yeah, क्या है?" So I went to him, "Boss, ये क्या है?" सर ये email है. In those days, VSNL had a monopoly on
Yeah.
internet access, and VSNL was you bought internet access and you got an email ID bundled with it,
Yeah.
right? So the only way in those days there was no webmail, there was no Hotmail, there was no Gmail, there was no Yahoo Mail, kuch nahi tha. It was just VSNL mail,
Yeah.
right? So his value prop was email. उस समय इंटरनेट का कुछ था नहीं, तो I said, I said, email hai. Now, I'd never heard of, I mean, I'd never seen email actually. I'd vaguely heard of email. That hota hai kuch. You know, I didn't know what it was. And I didn't know anybody who was using email. Right? So, he said, sir, ye email hai. So, I said, really? Usse kya hota hai? He said, sir, it is cheaper than fax. So, my fax chalta tha. Fax was 95 rupees a page. If you're going to a third-party fax provider,
Yeah.
overseas fax is 95 rupees a page.
Yeah.
Very expensive. Sir, it is better than fax. It is cheaper than fax. And it is, you know, आप अभी भेज दीजिए, उसको मिल जाएगा वहाँ पे, he'll reply when he wants to. It is not, it is asynchronous. So, and you can read it when he replies. It is faster than regular mail.
Right.
It is faster, right?
Right.
Fax is cheaper. And, you know, you can do to and fro at no cost. Very little cost, variable cost.
Right.
So, मैंने बोला, but the other person also has to email, right? For you to send. He said, yes. So I said, फिर तो ये fail हो जाएगा boss. You know, because I don't know anybody who's email, मैं किससे बात करूँगा? So it's like, you know, having the only guy in India having a telephone, who will you talk to?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So unless there's a large population having it, it's not going to work. So ये तो किसी के पास है नहीं. ऐसे कितने हैं? जैसे हिंदुस्तान में 14,000 अकाउंट है. तो ऐसे तो कुछ नहीं होगा. 14,000 क्या होता है? I don't know anybody. I personally don't know anybody's email. So who will I correspond with? तो उसका कोई फायदा नहीं है. ये तो फेल हो जाएगा. And I began to walk away. Right? No, come back. Sir, ये internet भी है. I said, what is internet? I said, internet, sir, आप अपने ऑफिस में बैठ के, अपने डेस्क पे बैठ के, you can access information which is stored in tens of thousands of computers around the world.
Correct.
So the world's information is on your desktop. So मेरे तो कान खड़े हुए. And I said, wow, really? So give me a demo. So we had a dial-up modem, you know, he did this dial-up thingy and then choo, all that happened. And, you know, it was a mono monitor, it was shell account access, no, उस समय TCP भी नहीं था. So only text, no graphics. It looks like, you know, the command prompt or Unix or whatever, DOS prompt, right? And he logged in and he went to a site called Yahoo. And he said, sir, this is the directory of the internet. You can search or you can browse.
Yeah.
I said, search. क्या search करो? मैंने India search करो. So he searched for India and a whole bunch of things came out. No useful site actually, just, you know, there were a few NRIs who were fooling around. One recipe site, one Taj Mahal site, one this site, one that site. Just 2-3 pages each. No meaningful site. Yeah. So I immediately began to join the dots. And I said, yeah, if there are 14,000 accounts in the country, तो 2 लाख लोग तो देख रहे होंगे because it's a shared account.
Right.
So I said, why don't I just get jobs and dump it on a site and see what happens?
Okay.
So I told him, boss, I don't want to buy this service because you're too expensive. It was 15,000 rupees for 500 hours of access. It was really expensive.
Right. Okay.
For those days.
Yeah.
I said, I don't want to do this, but I want to run one of those computers that others can access. Sir, he said, sir, उसको server कहते हैं. So I said, server कहते हैं. So I didn't know what a server was. So I said, how do I become a server? How do I own a computer as a server and connect it to the internet? So he said, sir, you can't do it in India. वो तो सारे server US में हैं.
Okay.
So then I rang up my brother that night, who was in the US, the prof at UCLA, and I said, I want access to a server where I can host a database of Indian jobs.
Right.
So he got me a shared server. I said, I can't pay you. RBI rules don't permit me to send you money. So you just have to give it to me free of cost and pay for it every month. I said, no problem. And he paid for the server for the next 3 years.
Wow.
Okay, every month. And we had a server. We launched a site. I went to there's a shop in Delhi called Central News Agency, Connaught Place में है,
Okay.
which gets newspapers and magazines from around the country and around the world. I said we will simply aggregate jobs from print, from all the newspapers, all the magazines which publish jobs, and put them all in one place and keep them live for a month. Value prop is कि साहब सारे जॉब इकट्ठे हैं एक जगह पे हैं. They're live for a month. If you miss last week's newspaper, you can still see the job here. अगर job has come out in Hindu in Madras, in Delhi you can sit and see it.
Right.
Right? Oh. We did that. And immediately traffic began to come.
Okay.
Right? And that's when I said, okay, something is happening here. So market is giving me a signal.
Right.
I had the customer insight that people want to see jobs. So I started 7 years ago.
Right.
That customer insight was validated by the fact that we were getting traffic. Right? तो हमने 6 महीना ये चलाया फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट. एक दिन एक फोन आया saying I am calling from I forget the company's name. It was a mid-sized auto components company in Pune.
Okay.
You have taken our jobs in the past. जो अखबार में छापे थे. हमको रिस्पॉन्स आया था. थैंक यू सो मच. मेरे पास 6 जॉब और हैं. Can I send them to you? Will you put them up?
Right.
हमने बोला yes, but you will charge a small fee.
Wow.
Then how much? Now you see, I was running an office out of home, so I used to pick up all the phones. There was an 8-year waiting list for a telephone line. So landline थी, and it was on my desk.
Yeah.
It was a scarce resource. So मेरे मुंह से निकले 350 रुपए.
Wow.
और 350 रुपए कैसे निकला? Because that was the price of a trademark search 5 years ago. So much for pricing strategy. So the guys, I said, but पैसा भेज दो पहले, along with the job information. He said, I'm couriering you a check, a DD of 2,100 rupees.
Wow.
So 2 दिन में वो 2,100 रुपए का कुरियर आ गया और हमारी बोनी हो गई.
सही है.
ठीक है. This was in September 97. We had launched on April 1, 97. So 6 महीने लगे. ये inbound था. हमने कोई सेल की थी नहीं.
Right.
So that's when मुझे लगा कि maybe there's something here.
Right.
One guy has called up. So we took out all the old job ads जो पिछले 6 महीने डाले थे. In those days there was no email, right? बहुत कम था लोगों के पास email.
Yeah.
So the job ad would come with full addresses of the advertiser, and the application would go either by fax or by courier, or by regular post. So we just took out the address fields, and हमने सबको चिट्ठी भेजी. 3,000 चिट्ठियां भेजी.
Right.
साहब, this is नौकरी, this is internet. हम ये कर रहे हैं. हमने आपके जो पहले लिए थे आपको एप्लीकेशन आए होंगे, लेकिन अगर कोई जॉब्स है आपके जो आपने एडवर्टाइज नहीं किए तो भेज दो. We are charging 350 rupees per job listing, or 6,000 rupees per annum annual subscription. Between September and March of 97-98, we did sales of 2.5 lakh rupees.
Wow.
Small, but शुरुआत हो गई. अगले साल ये हो गया 18 लाख रुपए.
Wow.
Now I had never seen anything growing 7x, even of a small base, in 1 year.
Right.
So that is when I figured that maybe we are on to something.
Right.
So it took us 7 years to stumble upon one more small idea, which went on to become a big idea.
Right. Right.
उस समय कोई विजन था नहीं, कुछ नहीं था. Right? उस समय हमें पता नहीं था कि इंटरनेट कहां तक जाएगा.
Right.
उस समय there were no .com valuations, there was no VC in India.
Yeah.
हमारा टारगेट सिंपली था हमें ब्रेक इवन करना है.
Right.
Because we had no money. In order to survive, we had to break even.
Right.
So I took up a second job in the afternoon in a newspaper. द पायनियर, ताकि मेरी पंखा निकल जाए वहां से, एंड यहां पर अगर खर्चे निकल जाए बाकी, so I'm okay.
Right. Fantastic.
I would work 16, 17 hour days
Wow.
doing two jobs, and we were doing Naukri. But it was that signal of 7x growth in 1 year that told me possibly this is a big idea. जब वो हुआ, हमने बाकी सब बंद कर दिया. No salary surveys, no teaching, no training, no writing, no nothing.
Right. Right.
Just focus on Naukri. We are now an internet company.
Right. Right.
ये 98 की बात है.
Right. Fantastic. So, sir, you were, you spoke about, what would now be called as product market fit. Probably you got that customer buy-in first,
See,
and and you are from an era where, there were no, like you said, right, no VC, no money to burn. Objective was to reach break even fairly quickly. Uh, Now, how do you look at, besides the customer piece, how do you look at the current scenario where, there's a lot of external capital and the product market fit itself takes a long time to sort of figure out?
the product market fit need not take a long time to figure out.
Right,
So this is what I tell people, that successful businesses are built on deep customer insights.
right,
Deep customer insights about what? About an unsolved problem, about a need gap.
right,
So, so I observed my colleagues reading Business India from the back. मुझे वो insight आया.
right,
Jobs are a high interest category of information. अगर आप jobs aggregate करो एक जगह, तो traffic आएगा. You don't have to advertise.
right,
Because jobs are a traffic magnet in themselves. मैंने वो placement season देखा. I saw how companies used to compete. And I said, ये salary survey बिकेगा.
right,
It was a customer insight. Kapil Verma did a few trademark searches himself, and he saw what happens there. He said, this is broken. There's a need gap here. ये service बिकेगी. So one of the first questions that we ask companies who come to us, ये idea कहाँ से आया?
right,
So when I met Deepinder Goyal for the first time, I asked him, ये idea कहाँ से आया? And he told me a story. He said that he used to work in Bain Consulting in Delhi,
yeah,
fresh out of IIT. He's 2005 batch IIT Delhi.
right,
Now Bain had an office in Gurgaon. वहाँ पे 50-60 लोग काम करते थे, mostly male, many of them young, mostly single, several living away from home.
yeah,
So no mummy to pack lunch and give you at home,
yeah, yeah,
right? Single, no wife to pack lunch, no servant at home to pack lunch,
right,
right? Office had a cafeteria where they would not serve lunch, but where you could bring your own food and eat.
yeah,
To make life simple for everybody, the admin department had aggregated all the delivery menu cards
right,
of all roughly 80 restaurants that could serve to that geography, to that location,
yeah,
and put them in a file folder for people to refer to and then order lunch.
right,
So Deepinder used to say, boss, at 1 o'clock line lega thi to see that file folder,
right,
and it was a shared resource, you couldn't take it to your desk. You had to come there to look at it. So he says, one Saturday I came into office and I took that file folder, scanned all the menu cards,
right,
and uploaded them on my personal page on the office intranet.
wow,
Right? As a shared resource, ki boss, apne desk se dekh lo pehle. Then or place your then come when the food is delivered. Why come down and look at the file folder and stand in line? Samajh
yeah,
lagta hai. So this is 2 days later, the office infra guy came to me and said, what have you done? How come all the internal traffic is going to your page?
right,
He says, that's when the penny dropped. And I figured that aggregation of menu cards has got value.
Got that.
right?
Yeah.
And so I spoke to the country manager. So Deepinder was in this, scheme where you work for 2 years after college, and then you,
Yeah.
in a large country firm, then you go to your MBA,
Yeah.
right? So he went to his country manager and said, "Boss, can I do a personal project on weekends?" He said,
Right.
"Sure, because in any case, आपके 2 साल होने वाले हैं." So I had no problem, boss. Why should I block your future?
Right.
So he got permission, and he went to 800 restaurants in Delhi NCR,
Wow.
and on weekends, and picked up their takeaway and delivery menu cards, noted down the address, whatever's on there, the menu card, got the GIS location, took some photos, whatever,
Right.
and launched a site called Foodie Bay. Zomato was earlier called Foodie Bay. उन्होंने
Oh.
नाम बदला है in the year 2010.
Right.
And launched it.
Right.
And traffic began to come almost immediately. And then he added Bombay and Bangalore, and traffic began to come from there also.
Right.
They had 2,000-3,000 restaurants when I met him. And
Right.
they were doing 1 lakh rupees a month of revenue.
Wow.
And we invested.
Right.
Because they were showing signs of what we call natural traction. अपने आप ट्रैफिक आ रही है, मार्केटिंग नहीं कर रहे, कोई पैसे नहीं है मार्केटिंग के लिए,
Correct.
नौकरी का भी वही था,
Right.
we had no money,
Right.
traffic came on its own, we had built a traffic magnet, he built a traffic magnet.
Right.
The trademark thing sold with just one letter to pharma companies.
Right.
The salary survey sold with just one letter to, to recruitment managers.
Yes.
So when you solve an unsolved problem, when you have a customer insight about unsolved problem, right? You don't have to sell; the customer will buy.
Absolutely.
Which means that you can charge your price, get your charge advance, get your terms of trade.
Right.
The customer will buy,
Right. Absolutely.
and then you get to profit with venture capital.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
then you take venture capital to scale up.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. Absolutely. So we will talk in a little
So
bit.
actually, product market fit ढूंढना मुश्किल नहीं है if you focus on your customer.
Right.
Answer your question.
Right.
It's just that if money is very easily available,
Yeah.
and you have the option of taking it on your biodata and a PowerPoint,
Yeah.
why would you not take it?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And then if you have the option of taking investor money, you may not work hard enough to get customer money.
Right. 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 I mean.
So what I also tell people is that the customer's money is better than the investor's money.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
अगर customer का पैसा आ रहा है and वो is coming at a price that's higher than your cost, then chances are you got a viable business if you can get enough customers
Right. Right.
at that price,
Right.
right?
Right.
Now, अगर investor का पैसा आ रहा है पहले,
Hmm.
see, investor का पैसा आना पहले is about impressing 2 MBAs across the table with a PowerPoint,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But customers are unforgiving, boss. Customer will not come repeatedly unless you are creating value for him.
Yeah. Customer doesn't care about MBA.
Yeah. Okay. So, and if you get a customer's money, investor का पैसा जरूर आएगा, because investors love to invest behind business that are getting customer money.
Yeah.
But अगर investor का पैसा आया पहले, there's no guarantee you'll get customer money.
Yeah. I agree. I agree.
So I always tell young companies that come to me, get your company into a place where you're getting customer money. Investor
Yeah.
खुद आएगा, आपको
Yeah.
pitch करने की जरूरत नहीं है. I called up Deepinder.
Yeah.
He did not reach out to me.
Right. Okay.
We raised money in the year 2000 on inbound inquiries.
Right.
We did
Yeah.
not go out to raise money.
Right. Got that.
You know, it's always better to raise money when investors are coming to you rather than you going to investors.
I agree.
Because you'll get the valuation, the terms you want.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
आपका हाथ थोड़ा भारी होगा.
Correct. Correct. I agree, and while I would still like to know your views on, there is this entire thesis of create the market, right? Which is taking the investor money first and then creating, educating the customer, so to say, about what he wants. Your thoughts on that?
देखिए, the issue is that in the last 10 years or so, maybe 8 years or so, there has been such a lot of money in the market, right? That companies have the luxury of raising investor round after investor round and selling what they have at poor unit economics in order to create the market. But देखो, अगर आप माल बेच रहे हो below variable cost, market अपने आप बन जाएगा बॉस.
Correct. उसमें क्या बड़ी बात है?
Okay. And अगर आपने price raise कर दिया, will the market stay? I do not know. Right? So, I personally think that, look, your company is at greater, see, एक risk होती है that I'm dependent on external capital. So, external capital rise up, do I have a company?
Yeah.
दूसरी risk होती है that my competition has raised huge amount of money.
Right.
So, if I don't raise money, he'll blast me out of the water simply by selling cheap.
Yeah.
You've got to balance both these risks. Raise money also, stay sensible also. If you're not sensible, but at least don't create permanent cost structures where if suddenly you have to go back to being sensible, it's not so painful. So don't create those high permanent cost structures.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly I was going to come to. At some you had a spectacular run till 2004-5 when that spectacular run sort of attracted competition, right? You started facing competition.
Actually, no. Competition came in. See, we launched in 97. First competitor was Times Jobs, launched in 2000. Second competitor was Jobs Ahead, launched in 2000.
Right.
Third competitor was Monster, launched in 2000, came to India in 2001.
Right.
So they all came in reasonably early.
Right. But it also heated up around 5-6, if I'm not wrong.
So around 2004, what happened was that, or 2005, I think Monster bought Jobs Ahead.
Yeah.
And it was clear we were coming out of the dot-com meltdown.
Yeah.
So investments began to come in behind these properties. So Monster, I think, had an announced strategy that we are going to spend 3x the amount that Naukri is investing in advertising,
right,
or 2x the amount for 3 years.
Right.
And they did that.
Right.
Between 2004 and 2007. So
right.
all that happened. But they made some strategic mistakes.
Right.
So Monster bought Jobs Ahead in 2004 or 2005. Now Jobs Ahead was a good product and a good team. They were giving us a run for our money. It was neck and neck.
Yeah.
We had more traffic, but they had more revenue. They had a better tech platform at that time.
Right.
Okay. We were underinvested in tech at that time, which we have since then have rectified substantially. Right? But when Monster bought Jobs Ahead, when a big, large American company buys which is number 3 in the market, buys the number 2 player, it's an Indian company.
Yeah.
What happens is that there's an assumption that the buyer is superior.
Right.
So they stopped investing behind the Jobs Ahead brand, which was the better brand, the better product.
Right.
They said Monster got the brand on India. Second, they couldn't merge the two databases because that's hard.
Right.
But they merged the sales teams.
Okay.
The Jobs Ahead guys who were better salespeople selling the better product got the lousier clients, lousier territories in the allocation and some were sacked because they didn't want a 2x size sales force. So you had, essentially that acquisition was destroyed value. But importantly, from our perspective, they were consumed by that integration for 2-3 years.
Right.
Those 2-3 years, gave us enough time to innovate, improve, execute, market. So in 2007, it took us 3 years, but we had shaken off that threat. When
Yeah.
Lehman went down, Monster was under pressure in the US.
Right.
They withdrew investments from India.
Right.
They cut back. So 2007 में हमारा ट्रैफिक शेयर था 44%, मॉन्स्टर का मेरे को याद है 32% था, if I remember correctly.
Right.
In 2011, when you came out of the meltdown, I think we were around 65, 66, and they were down to 20 something.
Wow.
Or 18 something. I forget now. But so we came out of that meltdown in a substantially stronger competitive position as compared to when we went in. That's because we did not pull back our investments. We continue to innovate. We did not sack salespeople. They sacked salespeople. They did not innovate. The innovation team was in the US. They were building a US product, not an India product.
Right.
We cut back at by 20%. They cut back at by 80%.
Wow. Right. Sir, I will
So the
come.
message from that is that look, stay committed, invest in meltdown recessions. Don't cut your investment.
Right.
So we have not, right now, sacked anybody. We have
Right.
not cut any salaries.
Right. Okay.
We have merely deferred increments and deferred bonuses.
Right.
हमारा product tech investment, and we've cut some marketing expenditure. हमारा product tech investment चलता रहेगा.
Right. Right. Right.
And as the lockdown lifts, people start coming back to work, and the economy lifts, we will see growth coming back in our view.
Right. Right. Sir, I will come to come back to this competitive scenario in the context of Policy Bazaar and Zomato a little later. But I want to touch upon some of the other verticals which you entered into. You entered into real estate and you entered into matrimonial verticals. Uh, One is, at what point in time in Naukri's evolution you thought that you should no longer be just the jobs thing and look at other verticals as well. And the experience there hasn't been as great as Naukri has been. How do you sort of think about that?
So, see, we had launched Naukri in 1997, right? We launched Jeevan Sathi in December 98.
Wow.
And just let it float in the net. Just let it float in the net. Free site. Zero management time going there. Self-service. Got some traffic. We raised venture capital in April 2000 from ICICI Venture.
Yeah.
So, when we raised venture capital, ICICI Venture, उन्होंने दो चीजें बोली. एक तो change your auditors, get a big five. उस जमाने 5 होते थे. दूसरा उन्होंने बोला कि what is जीवन साथी बंद करो. We have invested in Naukri. So we went to our then auditors and said, guys, we've got some good news and bad news. What are the good news? We've raised money. What's the bad news? We need a big five auditor. So we can't work with you anymore. So these guys said, they were roughly my age, two bhais. No problem. We were thinking of shutting our practice and starting a .com anyway.
Okay.
.com bubble चल रहा था.
Yeah.
क्या हम CA practice कर रहे हैं, सब quit करो और एक .com launch करो.
Yeah.
So हमने बोला, boss, you take जीवन साथी from us. ये हमारी farewell gift है आपको. तो वो तो हमें बंद करने बोल रहे हैं. But we will retain a 45% stake in it. तो 55% आप ले लो, आप चला लो.
अच्छा.
मेहनत आपकी, कोई बर्न हुआ, मामूली बर्न हुआ आपका, अगर बाहर से पैसा है, we don't value it.
Right.
So they took जीवन साथी from us and they began to work on it. बहुत मेहनत की. We raised money on April 8, 2000. Meltdown हो गया. They could not raise money.
Right.
In 2003, what happened was that the company had grown, company was profitable, but we couldn't give ICICI an exit. So ICICI began to negotiate कि boss, do a company buyback.
अच्छा.
तो वी अग्रीड कि हम आपने 7.5 करोड़ डाले,
Hmm.
10% IRR पे हम आपको 10 करोड़ दे देंगे
Hmm.
next 12 months because company is now profitable.
Right.
So in 10-12 months we should be able to invest some money and start paying you back.
Yeah.
तो पैसे इकट्ठे हो गए, we are saving up to buy ऐसे,
Hmm.
and when we went to them and said that we are ready to buy you out,
Hmm.
they said we've changed our minds. अब तो market recover हो रहा है.
अच्छा.
So we had this money in the bank, and we said, what do you do with it? So we said, यार, we own जीवन साथी 45%, कुछ हो नहीं रहा उसका. Let's go back to the other guys and say, why don't we buy you out? We'll buy you back. Thank you so much for working for us. आपको बहुत मेहनत की है, so we'll give you a price for it.
Hmm.
So we bought them back, and they
Right.
were happy. We were happy. So suddenly we became not just a jobs company, we became a classifieds company.
Yeah.
Now, what was the thought out and planned strategy, and was it, did we do some serious crazy analysis? Answer is no. Answer is 40% ownership है, पैसे हैं बैंक में, buy them out, see what happens.
Yeah.
हमने ज़्यादा कोई analysis की नहीं, and that's how we launched Jeevan Sathi. Now, in 99 acres, what happened was one of our independent directors, one of my advisors at the time, now I'm independent director, lives in the US. He came to India to sell a family property in Kashmiri Gate.
Right.
And he said, man, this process is broken. It's crazy, half black, half white. मैं नहीं कर सकता, full check चाहिए मेरे को. It's impossible. There's no transparency, all opacity. You don't know who's the broker, who's the buyer.
Yeah.
You know nothing. You don't know what a fair market price is. कुछ नहीं पता.
Yeah.
So there is no real estate side, not a real estate side.
Right.
तो हमने 2006 में we launched 99 acres. Or was it 2005? 2005 होगा, 6 होगा, I forget. Before the IPO. And that was more scientific analysis. So the need gap identified, there was a market size estimation, there was no competition, all that, and we said we'll do that's how we launched 99 acres. Within 6 months of our launch, we had 18 competitors, me too's. But nevertheless, we were doing all right until Lehman happened. Then the market tanked, and we were flat for a year and a half. Then we got to grow again. And now with COVID, I think we've been impacted. So 99. So look, 99 acres will essentially, it's a market leader, but until the underlying industry is back, until real estate begins to, it's going to be hard to build a very large profitable business.
Right. Right.
The way Naukri is. But we're making good progress. 2-2.5 crore turnover पहुंच गया था.
Right.
But इस साल तो difficult होगा.
Right. Right. And then there were some of other ideas in the form of Bridge.com and
So Bridge was a learning and a mistake.
Yeah.
It was a failure. It was essentially a me too. We did not have a value prop that was substantially differentiated for our users, and therefore did not work.
Right. Right. Even Merit Nation. So
Merit Nation is an investment. So you invest early behind people, behind ideas. So Merit Nation, we put 6 crores into 40%. Policy Bazaar, we put 20 crores into 49%.
Yeah.
And Zomato, we put 4.5 crores into 33%. These were our early bets.
Yeah.
2 out of 3 worked out. Merit Nation did not.
Yeah.
Not for want of trying, but whatever reason.
Yeah. 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 So, I mean, a typical sort of Indian entrepreneur would look for controls and consolidation in accounts and pay in the strategy and all of that. But you sort of not just moved from sort of one vertical to now 3-4 verticals, and then you've also taken this investment strategy. How did your mind sort of evolve in that direction, and you sort of moved away from control things? How do you think about these things?
See, we had 3 verticals in the company when we went public. We added one more very quickly, Shiksha. Right? Now, One of the objects of the IPO was acquisition.
Right.
So we had this money sloshing around in the company post the IPO, but when we went out to look, we couldn't find anything worth acquiring. And if anything was, it wasn't at the price we were willing to pay. But we saw there were plenty of young startups
Yeah.
coming out, and there wasn't enough venture capital in the country at that time. What's
Right.
come? And we said, यहाँ पे opportunity है. See, we can't do all these ideas ourselves. We don't have bandwidth.
Yeah.
Some of these entrepreneurs are really good. They will not come into our company as employees. Otherwise, why would they? They want to be entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
There's nothing we can acquire. So why don't we repurpose that acquisition money into early stage investing?
Right.
Which is what we went and did.
Right.
And the truth is, see, I have been an entrepreneur. Right? I know the most important thing for an entrepreneur is first of all independence. कि मैं अपना कुछ करूंगा. So you don't become an entrepreneur because you want a new boss. So if you have an investor who's behaving like a boss, the entrepreneur is very unhappy. And great companies are not built by unhappy entrepreneurs.
Right. Right.
You got to recognize that. And you got to let them run with it.
Right.
You tell them 10 things, they do 2, it's good enough.
Right. Right. Sir, talking about investments, I know you said one of the things that you look for was is customer asking for it, is customer validating your product and things like that. But besides that, what are the as an investor, I would love to learn from you. What are the things that you look for when you are making an investment?
So one is customer.
Absolutely.
Second is competition.
Competition. Okay.
Third is moat in the form of IP or potential moat. आगे जाके बन सकता है क्या?
Right. Okay.
IP, brand, trademark, database, algorithm,
Right.
network effect,
Right.
data aggregation.
Right.
Right? Uh, is there a moat possible?
Right.
Then is obviously team.
Right.
The team that will make all this happen.
What do you look for in the team?
I would say commitment, staying power, ability to attract talent, knowledge of customer, orientation towards getting customer knowledge. मेरे दिमाग में कॉन्सेप्ट है ये महंगा एंटरप्रेन्योर है सस्ता एंटरप्रेन्योर है. अगर ये महंगा एंटरप्रेन्योर है looking to defend his lifestyle,
Yeah.
come back from the US,
Yeah.
getting a house there while sending his kids to American Embassy School here,
Right.
right?
Right.
That's a red flag. I won't say you won't do it, but it's a red flag.
Right. Right. Right.
सस्ता entrepreneur is कि boss, I value my equity.
Right.
तो मैं कम से कम तनख्वाह लूंगा
Right.
just to live.
Yeah.
ताकि I don't have to raise money to dilute further.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
These are good traits.
Yeah.
We look for bottom-up entrepreneurship, not top-down entrepreneurship.
Right.
Top-down is boss ये USA में चला जहाँ चल जाएगा.
Right.
It might. Who knows?
Yeah.
But it'll be a fluke. Top-down entrepreneurship is boss हिंदुस्तान में 400 million middle class है with the purchasing power of Europe. So boss, imagine if each of them had one bottle of Pepsi Cola every day. कितना Pepsi बिकेगा?
Right. Right.
That's the thesis on which Pepsi Cola came into India.
Yeah.
That's top down.
Yeah.
Bottom up is, boss, I saw my colleagues lining up to see the menu card.
Right.
And I put it on my intranet and they all came.
Yeah.
So I know कि अगर मैं सारे मेन्यू कार्ड डाल दूं तो ट्रैफिक आएगा.
Correct. Correct.
फिर देखेंगे क्या होता है.
Right. Right. Right.
Bottom up is, I saw my colleagues read business data for the back. So I knew अगर मैं सारे जॉब डाल दूंगा.
Yeah. Yeah. Top down सब बढ़िया लगता है.
हाँ, top down तो boss. See, the problem is all investment analysts are top down.
Right.
Market, Chinese experience, US experience,
Right.
market gap, you know.
Yeah.
See, everybody looks at macros.
Yeah.
I don't know how many guys go on and meet customers.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is where the real insights are. Right. Super.
So if you got analysts on this call, my advice, which may be foolish advice, maybe you're wrong, we meet more customers and then do the macro.
Right. 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 You didn't speak about market size, etc. When you're looking for investments. And-
No, I did not. You see, in era of transformation and transition, markets can surprise you.
right.
So when we raised money from ICICI Venture,
Right.
we had been truthful in our projections.
Right.
We had said 4 years out we will do 12 crore turnover. We were doing 3 lakhs a month, 36 lakhs a year. So 12 crore, and that was wildest dreams. We 12 crore करेंगे.
Right.
ICICI Venture said, boss, we can't give you the valuation you're asking for at these projections. I said, I don't care. We have got an alternate term sheet at this valuation, which I had got. So the ICICI Venture people, in the internal note, what they wrote, companies give this projection. We believe they are, they're being too conservative. We believe it is much higher, and therefore give them a valuation. And that's how we went to them.
Wow.
Now, when 4 years actually happened, we did 84 crores.
Wow.
We were wrong by 7x.
Wow.
Okay. So that is an important lesson that in times of transformation
Yeah.
and transition, markets can surprise you.
Right.
When we did Zomato, and I still had the internal correspondence with my board, with our board, that Sanjeev, are you sure that यहाँ पे तो 20 करोड़ धंधा बन सकता है? Because restaurant mom and pop, you don't have marketing budgets.
Yeah.
So how will you get revenue? और कितने शहर हैं, कितने रेस्टोरेंट होंगे? तो 20 करोड़ धंधा बन सकता है. Are you sure you want to do it? ऐसे यार बंदे ठीक है, ट्रैफिक आ रहा है, वैल्यू प्रॉप है. It was a punt. So you put 7 crore on. I had sold it as a punt.
Right.
But the considered view of all the learning people in my company was, ये 20 crore धंधा बनेगा.
Right.
But good teams will surprise you. Times of transition markets will surprise you.
Right. Right.
You got to see if the customer wants this thing. Customer wants it, he'll go for it. Then you'll see, and he'll go for it. अब हिंदुस्तान में 1.3 billion लोग हैं तो कहीं ना कहीं मार्केट मिल जाएगा यार.
Correct. Correct. No point spending midnight oil trying to estimate the market size.
So I'll tell you, I'll give you one story. Okay, then it's 6:30, but I'll give you one story. We were raising money, first round, Series A,
Right.
year 2000. I went to 4 investors. We didn't have a banker. I went to 4 investors directly. We got 3 term sheets. The 4th guy told me, you're a great salesman. You speak well, but I'm not investing behind you. And I said, why not? He said, very simple. What is the market size of print ads in India? Appointment ads. I said, 400 crore. मेरे ख्याल से. What is your price point? This will be print. I said 100.
Okay.
If you succeed and get 100% market share, you will shrink the market to 4 crores. And therefore, I won't invest behind you. If you succeed, if you fail, I will fail. If you succeed, I will still fail as an investor. ICICI Venture got 28.5x on an investment or bubble valuation in 6.5 years.
Wow.
For a long, long time, it was the highest X ever by any VC fund across any industry in early stage in India.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I will not be a prisoner of an assumed small market size.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Sir, we were talking about competition and Zomato some time back, and you were also talking about your experience during the monster period where you faced some competition. When you made investment from Zomato, you spoke about it. Very clear thesis, very beautiful, space to be in. I believe similar is the situation with Policy Bazaar, a product that can be sold online. They were the first ones to do it. Policy Bazaar as a name sort of reckoned with customers. Uh, uh, Makes absolute complete sense. But let's say someone like a Zomato, faced intense amount of competition from someone like the Swiggy, who literally changed the game. And while you were when you were facing the competition from Monster, you were sort of fortunate enough that they pulled out of India, and it didn't come
They
to
didn't
a,
pull out. They didn't pull out. They reduced
they
investments.
reduced the investment. Yes, and that and so you probably never went into red and stuff like that. But Policy Bazaar and Zomato in particular have faced intense amount of competition and have been red for a very very long
Well,
period of
Zomato, both Policy Bazaar and Zomato can break even when they want, and
right,
both have cut burn substantially
right, right. No,
post COVID.
I'm
So,
sure.
so, so, so you see, the point is for both of them, profits is a strategic choice.
Okay,
Losses are not compulsory.
right, 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 right. But I mean, I want to understand from you, when you talk to these founders and when you sort of advise them, I know you yourself are financially conservative. Uh,
See,
what
we
what
recognize. See, we work a certain way. We recognize that this may or may not be the only way,
right,
and we also recognize that हर एक आंकड़ा अलग होता है.
correct,
We also recognize हर एक स्थिति अलग होती है.
yeah,
कॉम्पिटिशन अलग होता है, फंड अवेलेबिलिटी अलग होती है. वो जमाना और था, ये जमाना और है.
right,
What we do nudge them towards is don't build up permanent costs that you can't scale back should external funding dry, because that is also a risk.
right, right. But the one thing that, and from whatever I'm gathering from you, the one thing that you probably look for very carefully is market share. Is that a correct takeaway for me?
I think market leadership is important.
Market leadership. Yeah, 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 yeah. Got that. So,
In
protect
the in
potential
the internet business, I mean, market leadership is important.
right, right. Got that. Got that. That's a useful takeaway, sir. Thank you. We've spoken about your sort of balance sheet investments. You've now decided to set up an AIF. You are looking to bring in external investor. I just wanted to understand that thought process a little, because one of the biggest advantages of you as InfoEdge investing as InfoEdge is that your permanent capital, right? That has its own lure, right? And that is what sort of allowed you to, let's say, stay put in Policy Bazaar from, if I'm not wrong, you did that investment in 2008-9 sometime. It's been
2008.
it's been 11 years. You've rided the cycle, and some of these investments take their own time to sort of fully bloom. Uh,
Yes.
how do you I mean, how do you reconcile these things?
So one is the LPs we're looking for, and we're not looking for many LPs. We're looking for one or two LPs only to come alongside us. We don't want to manage 15, 20 LPs.
Right.
These LPs we're looking for do have a lot of permanent capital and long-term view.
Okay.
Second, our fund is 12 years, 10 plus 2. If I remember correctly, I'll have to see the fine print, but our
Right.
fund lamba hai.
Right.
Right? Third, look, we decided to move to an AIF for regulatory and tax reasons first.
Right.
You need an AIF for exemption from angel tax. If you invest from the balance sheet of InfoEdge and you have a wild exit, you could be classified as NBFC,
Right.
which means that nobody will need RBI permission to open a new branch.
Wow.
It's a bad idea. It'd be a bad idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Third, the investing act is getting very, very serious because it's getting valuable. See, when we first invested in Zomato and Policybazaar, we could not have imagined that यहाँ तक आएंगे और इतनी बड़ी वैल्यूएशन हो जाएगी.
Yeah.
So now that it is delivering these kind of results, we believe we should get more serious and organized about it.
Got it.
Our original intent was to go to the entire fund ourselves, but post-COVID, we said generate some liquidity.
Right.
Because of uncertainty. At least, so in Fund 1, we're having external LPs.
Right. So now that you're looking to sort of deploy out of that fund, I want to get from you some direction in terms of what are the sort of spaces or segments or macro trends.
So the investing strategy does not change. It's the same thing. We're just moving the same activity out in AIF, and we have some external interest in the form of external LPs. But वही होगा, internet, consumer internet, B2B SaaS, tech, apps, mobile, early stage.
Right. You will sort of continue to make that very early bets, sub 10 crore kind of stuff that you've done.
Yes. So we'll make early bets.
Right.
Our preference is to be the first institutional check into a company, but it won't always be the case. But that's what we like to do.
Right. And within the segment that you sort of mentioned, any specific niches that you want to highlight?
So no. So we don't invest top down.
Right.
We've got 4 classified verticals in our company.
Right.
The 5th logical one is automobiles.
Right.
Okay, but it's already late.
Yeah.
If you want to buy an existing player, then it's very expensive.
Right.
So we say, okay, that ship has sailed as far as we are concerned.
Yeah.
So we prefer to meet entrepreneurs and startups and see what's bubbling through. For the life of me, I would never have thought of an insurance comparison site. अगर हम top down करते.
Yeah.
ये आशीष and team मिल गए हमें.
Right.
पसंद आए, आइडिया सही लगा, हमने डाल दिए पैसे.
Right.
For the life of me, I would never say, let's do a restaurant listing site here.
Yeah.
We met Dipinder, like the people, like what they were doing, looked at customer reaction, like the product,
Right.
down the पैसे.
Right.
So according to us, go do bottom up, not top down. So
Right.
our investing strategy is also bottom up. It's not top down.
Right. Fantastic.
So we will meet many startups. We will see what appeals, what's working, what makes sense, and do it.
Right. Fantastic. I will be taking questions after this question, which is my last question. So if you have any questions in the audience, please type them in the questions section. Sir, my last question to you, there are quite a few founders in the audience. As an entrepreneur yourself and as an investor, what are the top 2-3 advices that you would give them?
So, I've already mentioned it, that number 1, focus on your customer. Number 2, the customer's money is better than the investor's money. Number 3, raise money when the investor comes to you, rather than you having to go to the investor. The investor will come to you when you get customer money.
Right. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you for those advice, sir. I'm now inviting questions. If you have any questions, please type them in the questions segment. I see a lot of comments on the chat. Please let me just go through them. I think there's one question about will you be investing in US and other geographies or only in India?
Well, primarily India. And even if there could be some companies which have Indian promoters which are targeting overseas markets, but primarily India.
Right. I think there's one interesting question from Venkat about why InfoEdge has sort of stayed away from financial services in India, considering that fintech is a big flavor. So other than Policybazaar, you largely stayed away.
So this is not a space for us to do internally. It's not a space we really understand. Second, it's highly regulated, right? So we don't have a competency. We don't have a experience. It's highly regulated. We would much rather invest than do it ourselves.
You would invest rather than do it yourself.
That's our thinking right now.
Yeah, but just extending this, other than Policy Bazaar, this hasn't really been a space where you've invested
So,
as
so between Policy Bazaar and Paisa Bazaar, we are reasonably covered in most segments.
right,
We keep looking at startups, but अभी ज़्यादा कुछ हमने किया नहीं है.
right, right, right. Makes sense. If you have any other questions in the audience, please type them now. We've by and large covered most of the questions. Okay. I think there's okay. There is one question that Chentil has asked. I'll ask it a little bit differently. I think we can speak at all about how you value startups when they come to you. How do you think about valuation?
See, I mean, so spreadsheets at early stage are fiction.
Right, right,
Right? At the very early stage. Okay. You look a little bit at competition, you look a little bit at external benchmarking, but by and large, see, one other thing we do is, in the next 5 years, how much money will this company need? Right? And you assume certain valuations at each stage of fundraising. And say at the end of 5 years, how much will the founder be left with? If that is too little, it's a bad idea to squeeze beyond a point the valuation down. Because then the founder will not be incentivized to stay and grow the company.
right. Okay,
That's one analysis. The other we do is, and this is a judgment.
right,
You see, the fact is, the entrepreneur bets his life, his or her life.
right,
We bet our money.
right,
Now we have a portfolio of investments,
right,
but the entrepreneur only has one life.
right,
So, उसकी जिंदगी की कीमत क्या है? And somewhere you're factoring that also in. Boss, if this guy devotes the next 50, देखो startup ना इंडिया में startup to scale ये 15 साल का खेल है.
right,
ये उससे कम में नहीं होगा.
right,
Right? So if this person devotes the next 15 years of his life or her life to this effort, what is a fair amount that this person should make?
right,
Because risk भी है, फेल भी हो सकता है,
right,
कभी तनख्वाह नहीं मिलेगी,
right,
कभी मिलेगी, कभी कम मिलेगी. जब तक प्रॉफिट नहीं है तब तक मार्केट तनख्वाह नहीं मिलेगी.
yeah,
So somewhere if we apply these 3-4 prisms,
right, right,
and then it's negotiation out of the deal. You look at risk.
right, right. From whatever I have seen of your deals, you tend to take very meaningful stake very early on, right? You mentioned 20 crore mein 49% in Policy Bazaar. You mentioned 4.5 crore mein whatever 30% in Zomato. I've seen you take very meaningful large stakes. And I've also, unlike most VC funds who tend to create a pool for founders, you've generally stayed away from that as well.
What for founders?
A pool or a incentive structure for founders,
In what way?
people tend to create profit share kind of structures and all of that kind of thing.
देखो, these companies don't make a profit, so profit share कोई फायदा है नहीं.
Right,
Right? No, you have to have the guy has to have enough ownership. Yeah, the people have to have enough ownership
right,
in the company.
right,
If they don't have enough ownership, who are they working for?
right. Absolutely, absolutely.
Entrepreneurs primarily work for themselves.
Right, right. Absolutely.
That's the single biggest motivator.
Absolutely. So that's a tip for all of us as investors to keep in mind while negotiating valuations at early stage. Sir, I think we've taken care of most of the questions. It's been a great learning experience for me personally talking to you, and I hope the audience has also found this useful. Thank you so much for taking the time out.
Thank you so much for calling me, and I enjoyed the interaction. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Bye.
so much. Sir. Thank